Now, to get to the prompt framework, you first come to this website by going to this shortened link, bit.ly/AIELD. So bit.ly/AIELD is where you will go and you will see the links to all the things that you need for this process. So let's click on the second link, AI-ELD Prompt Framework. And how you would use this template or this spreadsheet is two ways. First, you go to File, make a copy of this entire spreadsheet, and then you can edit and adjust it any way you want. The second way is to duplicate this tab here. You'll notice it's locked, so you can't do anything here. You will need to duplicate this. So you click on the small little down arrow and click on duplicate. Now it will say copy of the main. So I need you to rename this so that it doesn't get so cluttered and confusing on this spreadsheet. So put in your name and you are good to go. Now, the way that you should follow along in this video is not to watch the entire video because it's going to be very long, but I would suggest that you pause the video at certain points and follow along with me. So do it together with me. So the first part I've shown you, which is to duplicate the tab or duplicate this spreadsheet. So I will really want you to go and do it now. So please pause the video, do it. Once you're done, come back and let's continue. Right. So you will notice that there are three components to our framework: task, instruction, and context. So as I go through each component, again, after each component, pause the video, go and make the edits necessary, and then come back and continue watching the video. So the first component is task, where there are two things that you will need in this component, which is the role and the command. So the first role is which country you are from. So we are asking AI to act as an expert teacher, teaching in whichever country. So hopefully that gives AI a better context to how to design the lesson. So this is the one that you need to change. Now, the second part is I will provide details, and you will notice the words think deeply. So we really want AI to think very deeply and design a very good lesson for us. Next, what we want AI to do is to design a lesson that achieves deep understanding through interaction. Because in our Singapore e-pedagogy framework, we focus a lot on the interaction with content, interaction with peers, and with teachers, right? Now, I also want AI to ask any questions that AI think is necessary for it to be able to design a well-designed lesson. So that's the first part, first component, which is tasks. The next component is instruction, and this part there's no edits necessary for you, but you may want to do certain changes. So I'm going to explain it a little bit more. So the first part of this component will be the output. What kind of output do we want AI to give us? So I've told AI to organize the information in a table with 4 columns. The reason why I'm using a table is because most of our lesson designs are designed in the form of tables. So it's something familiar and it also makes it more readable. So there are 4 columns to this table. The first column is duration. Second column is the 4 categories of the Singapore's EdTech pedagogical scaffold, namely the active learning process, which has these 4 components or 4 categories: activate learning, promoting a discussion, facilitate demonstration of learning, and monitor and provide feedback. Now, if you are not using the EdTech PS and you have your own categories, feel free to change this part here. Column 3, I want a detailed description of the activities and questions, because questions are very important to help promote students' learning. Now, the 4th column will be the justification. So this is in a way we are trying to read the mind of AI, because we want to know the reason behind why AI has decided to use these activities or these questions. So this will also help you to evaluate and analyze the AI-generated lesson plan to see whether the activity is suitable or the questions are suitable or not. Next, quality of output. Simple enough, but detailed for any teacher to understand and carry out the lesson. And you will notice this command, don't start designing the lesson until I give the context. Now, the reason for this is because if you scroll down, you will notice I've split the prompts into 2 parts. The first part is really just to give and front load the instructions for AI. So at this point, after I've copy and pasted this part into the AI tool like ChatGPT, I don't want it to start generating a lesson on its own because I have not given it the context. So the command "don't start designing the lesson" hopefully will stop AI and will then prepare AI to receive the next set of instruction. The third category and the last and the longest, the biggest category is actually the context, because context matters a lot if you want AI to design a good lesson plan for you. It might be tedious, it might be very lengthy, but this is really just, like I said, so that AI can generate a lesson that suits your needs. And feel free to take out any part of this component if you think it's not necessary and you would prefer that AI have a little bit more freedom in designing your lesson. So you will see a few things like subject, topic, age, grade level, class size, learning abilities, duration, and the learning outcomes, which usually comes from the syllabus. Success criteria is, I feel, is the most important part, because when we design lessons, we usually design so that students can meet the success criteria. Now, this part here is something that you may or may not want to put in. If you have a specific pedagogy in mind that you want AI to design around, you can put it in. But if you have no particular pedagogy, or you would like AI to suggest a pedagogy, then you should actually delete this whole thing here. So when you delete both, huh? All right, so that it is eliminated from this part here, the second prompt. So yeah, but I'm just going to leave it here like this. Now this part here is more specific for the Singapore context, because in Singapore, when we use our EdTech pedagogical scaffold to design lessons, one of the parts of EdTech PS is what we call the key applications of technology. And these are the areas where we feel technology is best used in, either to support assessment for learning, foster conceptual change, and so on and so forth. So feel free to edit this part in terms of how you think and how you would like AI to design a lesson and how it should integrate technology into the lesson plan that it has designed. 21st century skills, a very important skill as well. Evidence of learning, how should students show evidence of their learning? Any prerequisite knowledge, again, some lessons may have, some may not. So again, if this doesn't apply to you, please make sure you delete both. All right. Finally, any resources. Again, if you would like AI to suggest resources, feel free to leave this blank as well. But in my experience, in my testing, when I don't mention this, the go-to technology that it always falls back on seems to be interactive whiteboard. Don't know why, but yeah, that's what I've noticed. So after you've edited all these, whether you have made changes or deleted the certain parts of this component, then it's time for you to copy and paste the next part into AI. Now, stay with me. I'm going to show you a live demo of how this works with ChatGPT.